What's good, man? We're back again with another video, and today we are here to finally do this top 50 video. Listen, I delayed this video about a week because I wanted to hang up these new jerseys that I got. This little LeBron jersey I got. I wanted to hang them up, but I didn't get time to do it, so I just wanted to get this video out the way. I'm thinking as of right now, if I want to make it 1 or 2 videos, bring it down in half, but you'll see. And if you like these videos, make sure you like, subscribe, share with your friends. I'm dropping weekly videos over here, so let me know what you think down below in the comments. Like I said, top 50 list is a lot of great players in this league. It's about 65 top 50 players in the league, but I kind of dwindled it down to my guys that I think are the top 50 players in the league. I actually went to 51 because I felt like 51, the 51st best player in the league, is an interesting topic. But I value defense heavy, so you're going to see that a lot throughout this list. Like, some very good offensive players are going to be lower on this list compared to the top end defensive players. That's because I just value defense heavy. I think defense is arguably the most important thing in basketball. So that's my criteria basically. But let me know what you think about this list, and let's get straight into it. All right, so these guys are just the guys that was in the template that I really didn't know how to take out. I'm not very good at technology at all, as you can tell. But some of these guys do deserve, like when I said top 65 guys that could be top 50, these guys like iHeart definitely could be top 50. Laurie, on a good day, can be top 50. I think Herb, if you value his defense a lot like I do, he could be top 50. Dyson, after last year, definitely could be top 50. Brad Beal, as a basketball player, I do think he'd probably be. Same thing with Paul George. Tyrese is a snub. Scotty's a snub. Tyler Hero's a snub. Rudy's definitely a snub. DeMar is a snub. OG's a snub. Jared, Desmond Bain, snub. Zach LaVine, snub. Yeah, I couldn't put them on this list. Tyrese, I couldn't do it. I'm just not very high on Tyrese. Rudy's defense, I'm very, very high on. Just couldn't get him on this list because the offense is still falling off as we speak. Tyler Hero, even though I like Tyler Hero, he's a hard person to judge. So I'm not really. I couldn't really put him on this list. Same thing with Scotty Barnes. Desmond, I just don't think he's top 50. And Jared, very good, but not top 50. Now, I broke this into little tiers because I feel like it's better to do it this way instead of just doing bland rankings. I feel like that's kind of basic. So, obviously, the top tier is superstars. Now, we do have some guys in the All-Star list that could be superstars, but I just labeled them down to All-Stars, All-NBA players, and then the next one we have is elite role players, and then low-end All-Stars. I forgot to put the low-end part in this, but low-end All-Stars, and then this tier. Cooper Flag and Thompson Twins tier. Now, you see Aaron Gordon in this tier. That's because I felt like he kind of reminds me of those guys. But I couldn't put him in this tier with these guys yet because I do think he's an elite role player. But I do think all those guys in that tier are clearly better than him. And I do think these four are kind of a conversation. Coop is the 51st best player in the league to me. I think Coop is going to come in and impact basketball at a very great level. Even though he's a rookie, I think if you look last year, giving the 17-year-old the keys, especially to the offense, there was a lot of question marks about that. And then I think he let out an elite offense, elite defense. And he had some help on the defense side. But he was just an elite player, the best player in college by far. And I think he's coming into an even better situation where he don't have to do a lot in Dallas. So that's why I'm kind of higher on Coop going to Dallas. And I think he's going to be a very good player off rip. Like, I'm expecting a very good year to where we're talking about him probably being in an All-Star game. That's just how high I am on Coop. And then Amen and Asar. Now, Amen is the one with the great PR. Not to say that Asar PR sucks, but Amen was on top 2 team in the West. He had the better year, and he is a better player. But I do think those two guys are like neck and neck, and that's crazy because they're twins. But I just think Asar is a better defensive player, and I think Amen is the better offensive player. I just think Amen knows where to be on offense. He's a very good rebounder, decent passer. On defense, no stops. Still one of the best in the world. I just think Asar, when it comes to perimeter defense, may be the best in the world. So that's why I'm high on Asar, and I don't think he's going to be ever used right over there in Detroit. And that's a big JB Bickerstaff thing with me. I don't think he knows what he's doing with these young guys. So, but I'm still very high on Asar. Those two are 48 and 49. And then Aaron Gordon, I still think he's very good. Even though in the regular season you could say it was a down year, and then in the playoffs he was very good, damn near elite at times. Very good shooter. Upped his defense back up to it being very good in the playoffs. just a perfect role player for what you need on that Nuggets team. So that's why he's there. Now I'm not gonna name the numbers because at some point I'm just gonna fucking forget. But in the elite role players and all stars list, we got Draymond Green, Bam Adebayo, Jaren Jackson, Brandon Ingram, Jaylen Brown, Julius Randle, Jalen Johnson, Kristaps Porzingis, Alvin Sengun, Domantas Sabonis, Derek White, LaMelo, and Jamal Murray. Now Jamal Murray was on cuts. I can kind of argue that I would take a man in the star over him, damn near Cooper over him. But the ceiling of Jamal is just so crazy. But the floor can be wild to where like he wouldn't even make the fucking list. That's just how up and down the guy he is. But he's still a very good player, very good scorer. I do think he had a decent playoffs this year. I don't think it was playoff Jamal Murray level, but I do think it was pretty decent. LaMelo, he was like in the Tyrese Maxey tier for me in the range. But I think he made it because the ceiling of LaMelo when he is playing is very crazy. As a scorer, as a passer, as a playmaker. But when I seen his game log, he's like 22 games the year before last year 44 games, and the year before the last year he was like 40 again. So like never healthy at all, never healthy. And I still think he plays dumb, like very dumb. So that's why like I have guys like Derek White or Domantas Sabonis or Alvin Sengun over him, even though those guys are not the flashiest guys. I just think they play good basketball. I hate the way LaMelo plays. I'm sorry, I hate it. It's terrible. And I think he's very bad on defense. For somebody that's, I believe, 6'8" with a good wingspan, I think he's very bad on defense. So that's why he's here. Derek White, perfect role player, elite role player. That's why he's on this list. Now, you probably can't see that picture pretty clearly. I did pick like a pretty shitty picture. But that is Alex Caruso. I do think it was between him and Chet as the most valuable defenders. Damn near in the world, but in the playoffs for sure. And who was the best defender in the playoffs for sure. I just think he is also, like Derek White, a perfect role player. No flaws with what you want in a role player. Can pass, can shoot, can defend at an elite level, and can score if you ever need him to score, which they did in that game 4 when he had about 20 and they couldn't hit a single three. I remember him hitting a fadeaway shot. Like, Alex Caruso is just that guy. I said it plenty of times on the run. All-time role player. And if he gets another ring, he's fighting for that Hall of Fame case because he's just one of those guys you're going to always remember, especially what he did this last round. So I have Alex Caruso here. Domantas Sabonis, very good. It's a conversation between him and Alperen Sengun, who is right in front of him. I just value Sengun's defense a lot more. I think he got a lot better on defense. And I also think Sabonis did too. I said that in my Simmons video. I think he did too. But still slow-footed, even though he might be the way better offensive player than Alperen Sengun as of right now. I do think Alperen Sengun's ceiling in the playoffs is better, as he's shown against the Warriors this year, even though at times he did shy away from the moment against Draymond, but it's Draymond. You can't really hold that against him. But I do think he played pretty well. I believe he averaged 21 and 8. I think he was very good. I think his defense was very good. I've always shitted on Sengun. It's just joking. But like he's actually pretty good. So that's why I have him here. KP, I just think he has the clear-cut ceiling better than those guys. He probably even a better floor. He's just that good. Jalen Johnson. A player of myself I'm even iffy on because I do think he can tend to be overrated when it comes to like talking about the stars in the East. But I do think he's very good. I think he's one of the best. One of the best because Giannis is in the league. But he has an argument for number 2. Well, then Pascal Siakam's in the league. So he has an argument for number 3 when it comes to transition play. I think he's one of the best in the world at that. I think he's a very good passer and a playmaker and an initiator for a power forward. I think he's pretty good at that. I do want to see a little bit more from his defense. I don't think he's bad at all at it, but I want to see it like stand out a little bit more. But I do think he's very good. Julius Randle compared to Jalen Johnson, the ceiling is just a lot of crazy. We've seen it in the playoffs. His scoring was just ridiculous. And then he's seen the Thunder, and he's like went back to old Julius Randle, which was nothing wrong with that. It's the Thunder. Like everybody in the playoffs did that. So I'm not mad at him for that. And I do think his defense is pretty good this year. So that's why I have him here around the, I believe this is the 39 range. Jaylen Brown, I think he was terrible this year. For Jaylen Brown, not for a random player. But like for Jaylen Brown, it was pretty bad this year. But it's still a very good player. Good off-ball scorer, good shooter, good defender. But the playmaking, the passing, even though they put the ball in his hand a lot more this year, I think it was still terrible. That's why I don't have him over a guy like Brandon Ingram, even though B.I. barely played this season. I just think B.I.'s stealing on offense is crazy. And I do think he helps out defensively. I don't think he's a leader probably even good. But like I think in those years when New Orleans had a good defense, I think he helped out a lot. So that's why I had BI over him. Jaren, defender, he's a great defender. Like I said in my Power Force video, when it comes to like feeling his defense, no homo, but like I don't feel the impact like I do with the two guys in front of him and Draymond and Bam Adebayo. And at times I feel like they carry. And I feel like for Jaren, he's a very good defender, but like the impact is not there. And then in the playoffs, again, he was trash, but again, he played the Thunder. But still, he's normally trash in the playoffs, so I want to see a little bit more. I do think he's very good at attacking mismatches this year, but I feel like, I don't know, something in this game has to grow for him to be like a legit number 2 for this team. I was on the whole, Jaren is the best player on the Memphis Grizzlies shit about a couple of months ago. That was me just saying shit. I can admit that. That was me just saying shit. But yeah, Jaren is very good, bro. He's very good. Bam, very underrated. I think he started off trash last year, so that's why he's pretty much underrated. But the defense is still damn near all-time levels. Actually, it is all-time levels. We're looking at him being one of, if not the best defender in the world for the last, 5 years. So, like, I think that has a right to be all-time levels. I do think in the end of the year, towards the middle of the year, his offense got a lot better. Starting to hit his midi shots a lot more. Starting to hit his threes a lot more. And he's always going to be a hub-type player. I have Draymond over him because I feel like Draymond is the second best defender in the world. I had Chet at number 1. I do think Draymond might be the most valuable defender in the world, though. I think it's lineups out there when he's by himself and they're still elite. And then when you give him at least Andrew Wiggins next to him, they're all time levels. Like I don't think you get that with Bam and Jaren Jackson. So that is the elite role players, elite role players, all-star, low and all-star level. Like I said, these 3 guys can be in here. I just wanted to put them in their own tier so I can talk about them a little bit more. But yeah, that's it for that tier. Now to the all-stars, all-NBA tier. We're gonna start from the bottom again. Cat, I said this in my Simmons video. If you give me like an inch of defense, like if you was good as Alperen Sengun on defense, it would be a lot higher because the offense, especially this year, was ridiculous. In the playoffs, at times, was ridiculous. But the defense is just so bad. Like offensively, to the guy in front of him, Franz Wagner, Franz can't touch him at all. But Franz is a very good defender. Cat is terrible. So that's why I have Cat here. But I do think like the offensive ceiling in this tier, he'd fuck around be number 1. Well, Dame's and Kyrie are in this tier, and then playoff Jimmy's in this tier. But he'll be up there. That's what I'm trying to say. Cat is just that good on defense. Franz again, very good. One of the best drivers in the league. One of the best passers at the 4 position. And I do think he's a very underrated defender. I do think he's the second best defender in that starting lineup next to Jalen Suggs. I think he's very good. Next 2, we got De'Aaron and Ja Morant. This has been a conversation for me for like the last 3 years. I just value De'Aaron's 3-level scoring, and I think it's way more effective than Ja. And I do think he's a way better defender than Ja. But I do think Ja, like towards the end of the year, was kind of crazy. Like 2022, 2023, Ja crazy. And I'm not gonna say, oh, that's because they got rid of Taylor Jenkins. No, I don't think that has anything to do with it. I just think he was going crazy. I think he started it a week or 2 before Taylor Jenkins was about to go. So yeah, Ja's crazy, but I like De'Aaron's ceiling a lot more as a basketball player, and I think in the playoffs he would be an even better basketball player. As we've seen in the 2023 season, he was very good, even with a fucked up hand. Surprise guy, Zubac, to me is an elite center. Very good on defense, damn near, elite on defense, elite shot blocker, elite rim protector. On offense, elite rebounder. Very good in the post, very good floater. If not, after Jokic, the best touch in the league. I've been singing my praises about Zubac all year. Zubac is just that good. Dame is Dame. It sucks that he's out on this injury, and he probably would have been a lot higher when I was making this shit because I kind of forgot about him and I had to add him. But Dame next to Giannis was a good experience. I think they worked out as good as it could with the circumstances that they were dealing with. I do think Dame, when he didn't have Giannis, was like ridiculous. So he showed like he still can be a number 1 on a very good team. But with Giannis, I think he played his role, and I think he was pretty good. I think his playmaking got better next to Giannis. So I just think they didn't have the shit around them to make them as good as they could have been. As like, I remember when we all got that notification, everybody was scared because like, we about to see damn near another iteration of Shaq and Kobe, and then you give him fucking Adrian Griffin and Doc Rivers and Kyle Kuzma, and you just fuck it all up. I don't know how an organization could do that. But yeah, that's why I have Dame here. Kind of want to rethink about it and put Paolo on the Dame. And I hate that it makes it seem like I'm a hater of Paolo, bro. Because I don't hate Paolo. I just don't think he's as good as y'all like to think, bro. But still a very good player, very good scorer. Tries on defense. I don't think he's good, but I think he's not a liability at all. Like, he doesn't hurt their defense at all. As you can tell, they're always the top defense. Chet, to me, the best defender in the world. And then when his offense is on, one of the best players in the world. Cade, one of the best offensive engines in the world. Hopefully soon we can surround him with some very good talent so like we can see like how good Cade really is. But I do think he's very good. And I do think his defense is pretty underrated, so that's why I have him here. Jimmy Butler, I think the ceiling of Jimmy Butler is probably the highest in here. And I do think I'm tripping. Yeah, I'm tripping. Hold on. I got to put Jimmy up here. I'm tripping. Because, yeah, I'll talk about Jimmy when we get to him. Trae Young is here below DG and James Harden and Tyrese. Like I said in my point guards video, I just value them more as scorers and playmakers together. Like, Trae is probably the second. Well, is the second. No, he's probably the second best playmaker of this group. It's between him and Harden. But I just think these guys are more valuable scorers than Trae. A little less Harden, but these two are more valuable scorers than Trae, especially when it comes to winning. I do think all three of these guys are way better on defense than him. I think all three of these guys are way better shooters than him. So, more efficient players than him. So, well, except for a little bit Harden. But that's why I have these guys over Trae. I just feel like Harden is just an offense himself, just like Trae. I think DG, if you look at the numbers, you watch the game, damn near offense himself. And then him, he just led an all-time offense. Like, I can't hold that against him that he was with an offense that was like 5 out, everybody could shoot, everybody could pass. I can't hold that against him no more, especially after the run that he went on. So that's why I have him here. I do have Pascal over him though. I do think Pascal is the best player on that team, being the two-way guy and then being an elite 3-and-D scorer that he is, that can also pass. That's why I have him as the best player. And then we can get to Jimmy Butler. Defensive ceiling is just like he went over there with Draymond, and it was just like, how are we gonna score? So that's why I have Jimmy over all these guys, and I do think he's shown it at times. Like, the scoring is still there. Before he broke his ass, like the scoring is still there. So that's why he's here. Yeah, J-Dub is here. Had a very good, well, not a very good run, but he showed up in all the great moments. I think he's a very good 3-level scorer. I think he can pass. I think he can play make. Do want to see it get a lot better. Do want to see the consistency to get a lot better. But he has an argument for the best. Well, he has an argument for a top 5 defender in the world. I keep saying everybody has an argument for the best, but I just think it's Chet and Wemby and Draymond. I don't think anybody else. Well, and Evan Mobley, but I don't think anybody else has an argument other than them guys. But I do think J-Dub is up there when it comes to defense. And then Kyrie, one of the most efficient scorers we've seen of all time, one of the best shooters we've seen of all time, and I think he can play, make, and defend better than people think. So that's why I have Kyrie as the leader of this group. So at 19, and it's probably not at 19 because I added somebody, but at 19 we have Kyrie Irving. At 20 we have Jalen Williams, 21, Jimmy, 22, Pascal, 23, Tyrese, 24, DG, 25, James, 26, Trae, 27, K, 28, Chet, 29, Paolo, 30, Dame should have been higher probably, 31, Zubac, 32, De'Aaron, 33, I'm blanking, Ja, 34, Franz, and 35, Cat. We're going to really get into the superstar list. These guys, I just think, are all MVP level guys. I think these three are probably like the questionable ones, and Kawhi. The question when it comes to MVP level, I think these guys are the questionables. But I do think like their ceiling as players is like they could be in the race. But the rest of these are like he can win MVP, he can win. Well, it will be hard, but he's probably he's in this tier. But he can win MVP, he can win MVP, and so on and so on and so on. They can all win MVPs. This tier, their ceiling is where they can be in a race. But these guys in a great season, if they have like a crazy season, which is very possible for all of them. Well, and probably not for these old fucks right here, but these guys can win MVP. You know what I'm saying? Zion is here, I believe, at 18. Um, the games worry me, and it worries everybody, of course. The commitment to the sport worries me, as you see the pictures that are going viral as of late. But when he is on that floor, it's probably not even 15 better than Zion. He's just that good, and I think he upped it up a little bit defensively this year. But when it comes to being that elite in the paint, that elite in the floater range, as a lob threat, as a passer, as a playmaker from the forward position, not a lot better than him. The ceiling of Zion is crazy. I still think it's crazy. Even with all that shit I said in the beginning, it's still crazy. So, I'm hoping one day he devotes his life to basketball, but as of right now, he hasn't. But yeah, I think Zion's ridiculous. So that's why I have him here. Donovan Mitchell, one of the best playoff performers we have in this league, even though I don't think he was that good as everybody thinks he was this year. Still a very good playoff performer. I think he had a decent year this year. Ceiling as a scorer is one of the best in the league. Ceiling as a shooter is one of the best in the league. I think he's very good. Defense is a little lackluster, and playmaking, tunnel vision, he gets it a lot. Evan Mobley, I do think is our best player. I think he's one of the best defenders, if not the best defender in the world. I think his offense stepped up tremendously this year as a shooter. I didn't know he shot 39% from 3. I just made that up, but I knew it was pretty high, and I don't remember the number. So just think it's 39. I think he was very good at attacking mismatches this year. I think Kenny Atkinson allowed him to pass the ball a lot more than he did with JB Bickerstaff. So shout out to him for that. And I just think going forward, he's going to be our best player. Now, Devin Booker I have here. I just think Devin Booker is so slept on, dog. It's crazy. I think Devin Booker is very slept on. But, yeah, one of the best scorers we've ever seen of all time. Of all time. And I know our area is not allowed to say that. I don't give a fuck. One of the best scorers of all time. Can pass, can play make. I think the defense was god-awful this year. But I do think with a better team, he can probably go back to what he was in the Olympics. Kawhi, I was very disappointed in Kawhi in the playoffs, especially like what he was doing going into the playoffs. Like I think he was very elite, like 3-level scoring elite. Defense was back to being pretty good, and then in the playoffs was like one game, oh I'm on fire. The rest of the games I'm chilling. One other game I'm doing decent, but then the rest of the game I'm chilling. Then game 7 he was trash. Like I was disappointed, but like Kawhi is just Kawhi. Jalen Brunson, one of the best scorers in the league, one of the most consistent scorers in the league. I just can't have him any higher. The playmaking and defense is just that bad to me. I have AD here. I think his ceiling is the lowest out of all these guys when it comes to offense. Defense is obviously the highest. Well, Vic is here, but after Vic is the highest. I think he was pretty good this year. I think he's a very up and down guy, but that's his AD at this point. But I'm hoping he can lead this team, this Dallas Mavericks team, to a long conference finals run next year to lose to OKC. Next, we have Anthony Edwards. I do think this will be the year that he takes that MVP lead. But as of right now, one of the best shooters, scorers in the NBA. I think he did what he needed to do to win those series. And now I'm talking about the Warriors and the Lakers series. I feel like they made him play make and think the game to a different level. And I think he adjusted to that and did a very good job at that. And I think he even did some of that in the Thunder series. I remember it was one game where they lost by I think 1 point. He had like 17 points. But like I think his playmaking was very good. Like that was the game that Dante and Nickeil Alexander-Walker had like 20. And they were eating off an ant. So gotta give Ant credit for that. LeBron is just LeBron. I don't even want to waste my time talking about it. It's LeBron, bro. Shout out my boy. Vic only played, I believe, like 30-something games this year, but they were crazy 30-something games where he was like by far and away first team All NBA, by far and away defensive player of the year to most. I think he's very good. I do think he needs to work on his scoring because I do think if he was to get dropped into the playoffs right now, I don't think he would have a good time. I just don't. As an offensive player, I think it would be very hard. Like if he would have seen OKC, oh my god. But yeah, that's why I have Vic at. KD, I think he should have been all in for All NBA in general because I don't think he made it. I think he should have been All NBA this year. I think if he didn't get hurt in the middle of the year, he would have made first team. I just think it's KD again. Like I said in my Small Force video, it's KD. Jason Tatum, I think this was one of the best Jason Tatum years. I think his playmaking is very good. The defense is very good, and the scoring is he couldn't shoot this year, but as a scorer, he was very good this year. So that's why I have him here. Steph Curry, the ceiling is up there in this little group that I talked about earlier. I think his ceiling is just better than the guys I named previous. As a shooter, as a scorer, everything. And I don't think he's been a slouch on defense probably since 2015. So that's why I have Steph here. Luka, I need to see the defense get a lot better. Even like the 24 Luka that I said was peak. Like the defense was still terrible, but the offense is always going to be crazy. I think this too is a conversation that I'm willing to have, but I'm gonna give Shea the edge after this elite all-time year that he just had as a scorer, as a mid-range scorer, as a shooter. Well, not as a shooter. I'm gonna just dial that back and just say as a mid-range scorer, I think he was pretty good on defense this year, even though he had a lot of help, and I mean a lot of help. I just think I have to give him the credit. Swept all the awards this year, so I just have to give it to him. Joel Embiid, if this group was very healthy, if this group is healthy, he would just be number 3 for me. That's why I put him here, because I do think the 19 Jesus Christ, I do think the 19 games that he played this year was pretty bad, but I can't hold that against him. He won a gold medal for the country. Now we go to these two. Popular choice is obviously Jokic. I'm just not of that belief, bro. I think the Jokic PR shit is gotten crazy. It's got, like I seen last week, people saying like he has an argument for number 1. Like all the players in the league today, in their piece, all the players, that's including LeBron, Steph, and all those guys, he has an argument for number 1. I seen that last week. It pissed me the fuck off. I seen another thing today where it was like, if you go from 2020 to now, who was the best player this decade? And everybody was like, by far and away, Jokic. No argument for Giannis. That shit is also ridiculous to me. So I just think the PR has gotten a little wild from Jokic. Just a little 3 MVP shit. I think it's a little. That's why I don't value awards like that, because I don't think he deserved all 3 of them MVPs. But Jokic is still very good. I think he just had one of the best offensive seasons we will ever see, like ever. I just think the defense is that bad, like that bad. And I think Giannis, bro, this is like the 3rd year Giannis is like 30-10 or the 4th. I know since like 2019, 28-10-5. Since 2019, like I just think we're getting bored. Well, not we. I think people are getting bored with the greatness, and it doesn't help that either he's hurt or he's with a shitty team when it comes time to the playoffs, because I feel like that will help his PR out a lot more. But he's hurt or he has a shitty team. But I think this was his best year offensively. The mid-range was very good for Giannis. Playmaking was elite, like elite. I think he was an all-time playmaker this year from a forward position. And I don't think his defense was bad. I think his defense was pretty good. He damn near made my all-defensive team at one point. And then the last, 15 games when he had to do everything offensively, he chilled out that stretch. But I do think Giannis is pretty good on defense. That's why I'm okay with you having Jokic. I just feel like if you think it's just Jokic and no thought about Giannis, that's fucking ridiculous. That's ridiculous to me. It is. It just is. But that's it for this top 50 list. Like I said, there's more than 50 players, obviously. I couldn't even keep count of them. But I'm just go from this. Number 1, I have Giannis. 2, Jokic. 3, Embiid. 4, Shea. 5, Luka. 6, Steph. 7, JT. 8, KD. 9, Wemby. That was a tongue twister right there. 10, LeBron. 11, Ant. 12, AD. 13, JB. Another tongue twister. 14, Kawhi. 15, D-Book. 16, Evan Mobley. 17, Donovan Mitchell. And 18, Zion Williamson. So let me know what you think down below of this top 50 list. Like I said, way more than 50 guys. But I just want to talk about a lot of these guys, man. So let me know what you think about this video. I will talk to you guys later with another video. Peace out.